Dusti Martin with the Martin Group at Platinum Living Realty, dropping in to give you your monthly market update for the city of Scottsdale. It is currently November 8th, 2023, so buckle up, let's go. Before we dive down into the numbers, I want you to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on monthly updates of what is happening in our local real estate market. All right. Our active listings, believe it or not, despite all the local agents screaming about the huge increase in inventory over the summer months, most specifically in the last month or two, about our listings going up, year over year, our listings are actually down 10.6%. This is normal for us. During the summer, we tend not to list. And then going into the holiday season, people tend to hold off on listing their homes. And that means we have a small buying bump because there's less homes available, even if more come on the market. A lot of times when our seasonal residents come back into the valley, they will list their home hoping to have it under contract or sold before the end of the year. They may or may not be here for the holidays, but with that said, that's kind of a normal seasonal bump. However, our active listings year over year are still down over 10% from this time last year, meaning there are less homes available. Our sold listings, though, in relation to that, are only down 2.4%. A lot of this probably has to do with the fact that compared to where we were last year, interest rates have gone up a point or two since then. This time last year, our interest rates were hovering just above 7%. This year, just in the last week, they went up just over 8% and then hovered back down right below 8%. So we're still in the 7 kind of range. So on average, about, I'd say 1% or less difference. However, with that said, I put a house under contract over the weekend and the buyer had less than a 6.5% interest rate. So good interest rates are actually still out there for the right buyers based on their approval. And it has to do with their credit and their debt to income ratio and all of that. But like I said, for the right buyers, there's still some pretty good rates out there. So if you're holding back thinking, I don't want to pay 8%, well, unless you only have a 500 credit score, then you might actually be getting a credit score much less than 8% or even 7%. So keep that in mind. However, with that said, our median price per square foot is up 3.1%. This is a return to what we would consider normal yearly appreciation. So we had this bump, we went down towards the end of last year, and then come January, we have just had this long haul climb out of it. And then we have seen a return to our normal seasonal kind of ebb and flow, which is good, I think, for everybody. We needed a pause, we needed a correction, we had our correction. Now we're looking at being up for the year, and hopefully come December, that number will stick. That's my prediction, but you never know. For all we know, come December, the government will be like, yeah, cats fly now. So take it with a grain of salt, but that's what I think. I think we will end the year level or even just up a little bit and be back in the normal range. With that said, our median price per square foot in Scottsdale is sitting at $405.54. This time last year, we were at $393.28. So that's a good chunk on a $400,000 home. That's like $12,000 in value you gained. So it's not bad at all. That is normal appreciation. And remember, before the last few years, normal appreciation was 1% to 2%. And then because we had such inflated high value appreciation year over year for like 7 years straight, because of that, it actually skewed the historical trend, and our new norm became 2% to 4%. So if you look at it in the big picture of things, it's really not bad. Now, our months of supply, with all that said, is down 8.4%. We're sitting at 3.97 months of supply, which is just inside seller's market territory, and it is very price specific. So wait till the end to get the different price ranges. If you're looking to buy or looking to sell in specific price ranges, those are the numbers that you're going to need. With our month supply sitting at 3.97, Is it a seller's market? Yes. Is it going to be lightning hot, buyers waving everything? No, that's not what a seller's market means. It means that the terms and conditions and the sale prices have gentle upward pressure, and sometimes the contract will slightly favor the seller over the buyer. Sometimes. Our median days on market, with that said, is also down 16.3% over this time last year. Last year, it was taking about 49 days to close a home. Now it's taking about 41 days on market to get your home under contract. And that is not quite a normal stable market. Normal stable market would be about 90 days. So we're still half of that. And basically little over a month, you should be able to sell your home if it is priced and marketed appropriately. And that is where these next numbers come in. Like I said, the whole city of Scottsdale is at 3.97. 4 months or less is considered a seller's market. In our $0 to $100,000 price range, we only had one home in that price range. It sold. No new ones came on the market. We were left with a 1 month supply of inventory. That is a white hot seller's market. That tells me if the right property comes on the market and is the right price, it will sell. Then we look at our $100,000 to $200,000 price range, and I'm seeing this number climb, but not a lot of sales. So I'm going to take a liberty, even though there's nothing to calculate because there were no sales. I'm going to say this might be a little bit of a buyer's market area simply because I'm not seeing sales in that price point. And that probably has to do with the fact that a lot of the homes in this price range tend to be homes that are not financeable, meaning it's a mobile home in a park, or it is for whatever reason in such disrepair or in a co-op or something that makes it to where it can't be financed. That's my guess. Only because in that price range, normally if homes were a typical home that you could say get a VA, FHA, or conventional loan on, they would probably be gone in that price range, and they're not. So that tells me there's something with those properties, especially since that number continues to grow. It's not a lot of them. There's only 16 of them, but I'm willing to bet if I went in and looked at those, they're probably not financeable properties. So they're looking for a cash buyer who doesn't care about all the other nitty-gritty details. So then we look at our $200,000 to $300,000 price range, and that is at 1.81 months of supply. That's a pretty hot seller's market. That's where you're going to see multiple offers. That's where you're going to see buyers coming in with more cash, looking to sweeten the deal, stuff like that. And you will have more aggressive, albeit yet still slightly gentle, upward pressure on the sales price. So if you're buying in that price range, keep in mind, you've probably got some pretty stiff competition, and that's not the time to mess around and to lowball. Unless, of course, the home's been on the market for a hot minute and it's not got any other offers. But your agent, hint, hint, should be able to call that other agent and figure out what's going on and see how many days on market it's been and so forth. But with that said, more often than not, you're going to have competition in that price point. Then we look at the $300,000 to $500,000 price range. It's a more sane seller's market, but albeit still a pretty solid seller's market at 2.8 months of supply. Same with the $500,000 to $700,000 price range in Scottsdale. Think starter homes and downsize homes. Your average place, 500 to 700,000, that's where your kind of entry-level 3-bedroom, 2-bath comes in, and you're at 2.86 months of supply. It will not be uncommon to see 1 or 2 multiple offer situations. So make sure that your agent is doing what they need to do and calling the listing agent to see what you are up against, because on pretty homes in the right neighborhood at the right price, there will be multiple offers and probably a lot of traffic generated. Then we're going to look at the $700,000 to $1 million. We're at 3.57 months of supply, so just over 3.5 months. And that is still a seller's market, but you're probably not going to see multiple offers, and you'll only see gentle upward pressure on the prices in that home. So take that with a grain of salt, but still know that at the end of the day, the market still favors that seller just a little bit more than the buyer. So try not to get carried away with lowballing too much and stuff like that. Just because a home's been on the market 2 weeks and doesn't have an offer, that's not a bad sign that there's anything wrong. That's actually more normal, right? So I know it's a hard adjustment for everybody to switch their brains from, oh my God, why is this house still on the market after 6 days? Well, the market has kind of gone back to normal. And when I say slowed, I meant isn't crazy. So keep that in mind. All right, then we look at our $1 to $3 million price range, and we're technically no longer in a seller's market here in this price range in Scottsdale at 4.69 months of supply. However, it's leaning towards that. It's got one foot on the fence, trying to think, do I want to climb over it? My prediction is it'll slow down a little bit from now until the end of December, and then January 1, it'll blow up. Everybody will be off to the races, and we'll see a lot more traffic and maybe even some inventory reduction or increase in sales there. That's my prediction. Again, for all I know, cats could fly by the end of December, and then all of that goes out the window. Here's where you really need to pay attention, because this next price point is wildly different from the rest of the price points in Scottsdale. And we're talking about the $3 million range and over. We are not in a seller's market in that price range. In fact, we're not even in an even stable market. We are fully in a buyer's market in that price range in Scottsdale at 9.33 months of supply, meaning it could take you almost a year to sell your home. So you need to be very aggressive and very intentional with your marketing, your pricing, your negotiation strategies, and making sure that this home absolutely puts its best foot forward when you hit the market, and that no stone is left untouched. All the paint is touched up. You've done whatever it is you need to do in order to really maximize the visibility and the likability of your home to buyers, because you are going to see gentle downward pressure on your home values in this price range right now. But on the other hand, this time last year, it was about the same at 9.3 months of supply. This price point is always very, very seasonal, and it does swing wildly from season to season here in Arizona. And that's typical because a lot of our seasonal residents own 2 or 3 or 4 or even more homes, and they're just not here in the summer when it's hot. They're somewhere else on a lake house up somewhere cold, right? So when you put it in perspective, it's normal. However, you also have to be very aggressive with your marketing and your pricing and your staging and all of that. If you're wondering what your home would sell for in today's market, go ahead and give me a call at 480-717-9405 or visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.